A very good morning to all of you. Well, students, so far we have discussed about the number of person as election commission. As we discussed that till 1989 there was single member, but just after 1993 two election commissioner they were once again appointed and the commission became multi-member, and now it remained multi-member since then. Now let's come to know the functions or powers of election commission. The chief election commissioner, CEC, it presides over the election commission, but remember, does not have more power than the other chief election commissioner. The CEC and the two election commissioner, they have equal powers to take all decisions relating to elections as a collective body. मतलब सब मिलके इकट्ठा ही कोई डिसीजन लेते हैं, किसी एक मेंबर के पास ज़्यादा पावर नहीं है. They are appointed by the President of India on the advice of the Council of Ministers. It is therefore possible for a ruling party to appoint a partisan person to the commission who might favor them in the election. क्योंकि चीफ इलेक्शन कमीशन को प्रेसिडेंट काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स की सलाह से अपॉइंट करता है, तो ये कभी कभी पॉसिबल भी माना जा सकता है कि रूलिंग पार्टी उससे अनड्यू बेनिफिट उठा लेगी. सो दिस फियर हैज़ लेड मैनी टू सजेस्ट दैट दिस प्रोसीजर शुड बी चेंज्ड. अब ये डर अपोजिशन पार्टी ने इस डर को उठाया और सजेशन किया कि ये प्रोसीजर चेंज कर दिया जाना चाहिए. Many persons have suggested that a different method should be followed that makes consultation with the leader of opposition and the Chief Justice of India necessary for the appointment of CEC and the election commissioners. बहुत सारे लोगों ने सजेशन दिया कि जब भी अपॉइंटमेंट होती है CEC की तो उसमें कुछ और बदलाव किया जाए. काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स और प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ साथ अपोजिशन पार्टी का लीडर और चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया की सलाह भी ली जाए. The Constitution ensures the security of the tenure of the CEC and election commissioners. They are appointed for a 6-year term or continue till the age of 65, whichever is earlier. The CEC can be removed before the expiry of the term by the President if both houses of Parliament make such a recommendation with a special majority. This is done to ensure that a ruling party cannot remove a CEC who refuses to favor in an election. The election commissioners can be removed by the President of India, and these are different ways. Let's discuss. The Election Commission of India has a wide range of functions. The first one is it supervises the preparation of up-to-date voters list. It makes every effort to ensure that the voters list is free of errors like non-existence of names of registered voters or existence of names of those non-eligible or non-existent. It also determines, ये भी देखता है, बताता है, the timing of election and prepares the election schedule. The election schedule includes the notification of elections, date from which nominations can be filed, last date for filling nominations, last date for scrutiny, last date for withdrawal, date of polling, and date of counting and declaration of results. All the things, they are being prepared or they are being done by the election commission. During this entire process, the election commission has the power to take decisions to ensure a free and fair poll. It can postpone or cancel the elections in the entire country or a specific state or constituency on the grounds that the atmosphere is vitiated and therefore a free and fair election may not be possible. The commission also implements, ये और भी लागू करता है, a model code of conduct which we read in class 9th also for parties and candidates. It can order a re-poll in a specific constituency. It can also order a recount of votes when it feels that the counting process has not been fully fair and just. The Election Commission accords recognition to political parties and allows symbols to each of them. The Election Commission has very limited staff of its own, so it conducts the election with the help of administrative machinery. However, Once the election process has begun, the Commission has control over the administration as far as election-related work is concerned. During the election process, the administrative officers of the state and central government, they are assigned election-related duty, and in this respect, the Election Commission has full control over them. The Election Commission can transfer the officer or stop their transfer. It can take action against them for failing to act in a non-partisan manner. Over the years, the Election Commission of India has emerged. जैसे जैसे तब से लेकर आज तक इलेक्शन कमीशन एक बहुत ही बड़ी इंडिपेंडेंट अथॉरिटी के रूप में उभर कर आई है, विच हैज़ asserted its power to ensure fairness in the election process. It has acted in an impartial and unbiased manner in order to protect the sanctity of electoral process. And the record of election commission also shows, पिछले इलेक्शन कमीशन के सभी इलेक्शन कमीशन के रिकॉर्ड से ये पता लगता है दैट एवरी इम्प्रूवमेंट इन द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशन डज नॉट रिक्वायर लीगल और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल चेंज. इट इज़ वाइडली एग्रीड that the election commission is more independent and assertive now than it was till 20 years ago. This is not because the process and constitutional protection of election commission has increased. ये इसलिए नहीं कि जो पावर्स हैं, जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोटेक्शन है इलेक्शन कमीशन की, वो बढ़ गई हैं या बढ़ा दी गई हैं, बट द इलेक्शन कमीशन हैज़ स्टार्टेड यूजिंग, बल्कि इलेक्शन कमीशन ने अपनी पावर्स को इफेक्टिवली यूज़ करना स्टार्ट किया. इट ऑलवेज हैड इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. In the past 55 years, 14 Lok Sabha elections have been held. Many more state assembly elections and by-elections have been conducted by the Election Commission. The EC has faced many difficult situations such as holding elections in military affected areas like Assam, Punjab or Jammu and Kashmir. But it has also faced the difficult situation of having to postpone the election process midway in 1991. When the ex-Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated during campaigning. In 2002, the Election Commission faced another critical situation when the Gujarat Assembly was dissolved and elections had to be conducted. But the Election Commission found that unprecedented violence in that state had made it impossible to hold free and fair elections immediately. 2002 में इलेक्शन कमीशन को एक और सिचुएशन का सामना करना पड़ा जब गुजरात असेंबली डिसॉल्व हुई और इलेक्शंस होने थे, लेकिन इलेक्शन कमीशन को ये लग गया कि वायलेंस होने वाला है, इसलिए उन्होंने इलेक्शंस को रुकवा दिया. द इलेक्शन कमीशन डिसाइडेड टू पोस्टपोन इलेक्शंस ऑफ द स्टेट असेंबली बाय अ फ्यू मंथ्स. द सुप्रीम कोर्ट अपहेल्ड दिस डिसीजन ऑफ द इलेक्शन कमीशन. नाउ दिस इज़ वन कार्टून एंड हियर the Netaji means some members of one political party, they are sitting all together and one member is standing, and what he is saying, the Netaji afraid of EC. Why do leaders fear the election commission? Is this good for democracy? Yes, of course it is good for democracy that each and every leader should have the fear of election commission, that when if they will do any unwanted, any unjust, they will be held responsible by election commission. So let's move further and let's see what is electoral reforms. No system of election can ever be perfect, and in actual election process there are bound to be many flaws and limitations. Any democratic society has to keep searching for mechanisms to make elections free and fair to the maximum. With the acceptance of adult suffrage, freedom to contest election and the establishment of an independent election commission, India has tried to make its election process free and fair. But however, the experience of the last 55 years has given rise to many suggestions for reforming our election system. The Election Commission, political parties, various independent groups and many scholars, they have come up with proposals for electoral reform. Some of these suggestions are about changing the constitutional provisions discussed in this chapter. This electoral reforms we are going to discuss tomorrow. So till then it's okay, it's all over. So Bye and have a nice day.